The biggest little city in the world has the biggest college football game it's ever had. Reno's ready for a showdown. Nevada fans enjoy one of the best offenses in the country. The 19th ranked Wolfpack led by Colin Kapernick. He's tall, fast, strong-armed, and closing in on all-time records. But he's opposite the Heisman Trophy candidate, Kellen. Boise State's cool hand QB has only lost one game in 3 years. If they can stay perfect again, then it's likely those grand BCS dreams come true.
We welcome you to ESPN's College Football Primetime. They've been playing football in Nevada since 1896. You ask around these parts, they won't hesitate to say this is the most significant game ever here. Number 4, Boise, 10-0. Nevada ranked 19th in the country. They are 10-1, and they meet up tonight. Good evening, everybody. I'm Joe Tessitore, as always, joined by my partner, Rod Gilmore. It has been a cold, snow-filled Thanksgiving week here in Reno, but things are heating up with BCS talk. There's so much on the line for the Broncos.
Well, really, ever since they beat Virginia Tech back in September, everybody thought Boise State would be in this position, a chance to play for the national championship. And, you know, Oregon took care of business today, it looks like, and Auburn did. Now, Boise State is poised to jump TCU if they can beat Nevada tonight. That'll put them in position to continue to stalk Oregon and Auburn for the national championship and make them the leader heading towards the Rose Bowl.
You look around the country offensively and you notice that the pistol offense has become a popular trend. It all started here at Nevada, and they've got the perfect fit at quarterback for it with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, you know those great plans that Boise State has? This guy could derail those plans. I mean, he's an outstanding player, great runner, has had a great career doing that, but he's also really developed the passing and test. He's a great passer now.
Kaepernick closing in on major records. He has 55 rushing touchdowns. Most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in college football history, 59 by Heisman winner Eric Crouch. And see, Cap is 2 away from tying Tim Tebow for second. As a dual threat, just 110 rushing yards away from joining Brad Smith as the only 2 players to ever pass for 8,000, rush for 4,000 in a career. And as for this year, well, he's close to becoming the 3rd ever to pass for 3,000 yards and run for 1,000 yards in a single season. Vince Young, Dan Lefevre, they were the first to do that. Coach Chris Ault, he's already in the Hall of Fame, 26 years now at Nevada, the creator of the pistol offense. And Chris Peterson, 2-time National Coach of the Year in just 5 seasons at Boise. Boise State won the toss, deferred, so Nevada will receive. Mike Ball, just a sophomore, already Nevada's career kick return leader. Khalid Wooten also back deep. Trevor Harmon to get the game started, kicking off for the Broncos. And here is Ball. Flag comes down as Ball is able to get it out to the 33-yard line, taken down by Jerron Johnson. And there is the 6'6" senior from California, Colin Kaepernick. You know, this has been a year where everybody's been so wowed by all these great quarterbacks, these dual threat stars and Cam Newton. But you look at Kaepernick's stats here, Ron, closing in on 1,000 rushing yards, 2,400 passing, the 19 touchdown passes, outstanding.
Well, he's called this the biggest game of his career.
Four yards back in that pistol formation. They start with Vitala, and Tower with a good gainer out across the 30, taken down by Darrell Acree.
Well, it's a very good running offense. They can also throw the ball. One of their key guys, Vitala, in the backfield. Virgil Green, excellent tight end, can get down the field, and really great blocking on the perimeter to open things up for Kaepernick. That offensive line, Barker, very good. Bender, big guy, big offensive line.
Tawa again. And he's going to be close to that line to make, maybe just short according to the mark, as Chase Baker was in on the tackle.
You know, Tess, that Boise State defense, underrated, really making an impact this season, and really their safeties are highlighted tonight. Jaron Johnson, one of those guys responsible for keeping Kaepernick really in check when he gets to the edge, likes to run. The other guy, George Iloka. Those safeties did a tremendous job on Kapernick last year. Really handled him in the first half. This year, Kapernick has to find a way to break out.
Impact Players brought to you by Tommy Hilfiger. Here is Cap. And he is cut down close to that first down line by Darrell Acree. And the mark gives them the first down.
And Acree is part of that outstanding defense. He stepped in for Byron Hout last week. Hout out with a foot injury. Acree was a former starter. He has stepped in, and they haven't missed a beat yet.
So a first down for Kapernick and company. Tawa now. Gain of 2 on the play. That front 7 for Boise is so active. Venable and Tevis coming in there.
Well, here's that great Boise defense we've talked about. Everybody knows about Winterswijk win. Chase Baker really underrated. Doesn't get a lot of attention. Shea McClellan maybe having really a defensive player kind of a year season. We've talked about Acree. Tevis has speed over there. Secondary will get challenged tonight. They love to play man-to-man coverage on the back end.
Wimberly in motion. Kapernick to pass for the first time tonight. And he's able to get it complete to Rashard Matthews. Matthews is a receiver that Coach Olt said he has to have a big game.
Well, this is what we talked about. The man coverage. Single coverage on the outside. Thompson working against him. And a perfect seam 7 route and out route. Saw them working on that all week. They want to take advantage of that man coverage, and Kapernick put the ball right on the money.
Now Mike Ball joins Tawa in the backfield for Coach Alt. 2nd and 11 now. Kapernick being chased. Gets rid of it, and was that intercepted? What a play by George Iloka. Wow, what a play. Off the hands of Virgil Green, and Iloka comes up with it right on that sideline.
Well, that ball was thrown pretty hard. Watch Green here, doesn't come up with it, but watch the deflection. Left hand, left foot, right foot in bounds. And that's a safety, Iloka, coming up with the pick there. That is a fantastic catch. Great concentration in the right place at the right time.
That allows for us to take our first look at Kellen Moore tonight. The best pure passing quarterback in college football. His passer rating #1 in the country. Could be on course to have the all-time highest passer rating ever recorded in the modern era of the game. Starts with Doug Martin in the backfield. And here is Martin. Straight up the middle. Martin out to the 21-yard line as he was taken down by Brett Roy.
Very familiar with this offense. We've seen their skill at wide receiver. Titus Young, very speedy. Pettis, great body control. Martin is the running back who gives you yards after contact. Kyle Efa, very, very good tight end they use in the passing attack. And that big line up front. Nate Potter is the NFL prospect. Thomas Bird, probably the shortest center in college football, but one of the best.
Moore steps up in the pocket and gets a complete to Titus Young, who has the first down yardage. Titus Young, 41 straight games now with a catch.
This defense will be challenged up front. Dante Moak, outstanding pass rusher. They'll try to run the ball at him. Colson is very good on the other side. The linebackers in their 4-3 set. James Michael Johnson inside. Very, very good at sifting out running plays. The back end is where they have had some issues. Folks have gone after them. They've tested them deep in the secondary.
Screen to Young. And that quick burst by Titus Young out to midfield. Boy, in about 2 strides, he's able to get upfield in an instant.
Well, it's that speed and quickness, that dimension that really opens up Boise State's offense. This is just a bubble screen. Give him some space and let him run. And he can do that.
20 yards for Titus Young. Here's Mitch Burrows. Good blocking out in front. Mitch Burrows drives ahead to the 34-yard line. Another first down by Boise. Austin Pettis and Tyler Shoemaker blocking for their fellow receiver.
Test, they script their plays just like Walsh. They test you. They want to see where you're going to be, how you react, how you cover things. They want to create confusion so that when that defense goes to the sideline, they're asking their coaches what's going on. They want to really get you off your game right off the bat.
He's in on this Doug Martin run to the 20. That time the Nevada front four got to him, led by Ryan Colson.
And it continues. They come in on a second down, changing personnel. They will shift, they will move. They're going along the script, testing the Nevada coaching staff. How do they react? What do they see? What matchups do they get?
Second and 7 now for Kellen Moore. Moore with time and able to connect to Gabe Linehan to the 14-yard line. It'll bring up a third down.
This team has been money inside the red zone, 71%. And you know, the standard gold is 80, but hardly anybody gets that. Anything over 70% is excellent in the red zone. And it's about touchdowns. It's not about kicking field goals. It's about getting touchdowns.
Third and 2. As they often do, changing the formation. Linehan in motion. Pressure. Martin unable to shake free. What a good play by Duke Williams, the strong safety for the Wolfpack.
That was an excellent tackle by Duke Williams. He gets one-on-one in space with Martin and makes the tackle, driving him back. They got the matchup they wanted offensively. Ball just a little bit behind, a little bit late coming out, and Martin had no chance as Duke Williams closed quickly.
So a 33-yard attempt for Kyle Bronzman, the WAC Special Teams Player of the Week. Last week he was 3 for 3. And he puts it through. As Boise State, number 4 in the country, trying to stay perfect, start things off with a Kyle Bronzman field goal moments ago. Khalid Wooten now for Nevada. And Wooten out past the 30. By Tawa now. And Tawa out to the 47-yard line. Senior running back, the NCAA's active career leader with 24 games over 100 yards rushing.
And Tess, the challenge for this offense is to get Kapernick free so he can make big plays. And Boise State is trying to resist that. Boise State does not want Kapernick on the edge. They want to keep him inside. They want to force Nevada to run the dive play, to run the ball inside. Kaepernick's going to have to find a way to get to the edge, and he's got to throw the football.
Get it quickly out now to Shepard. And Shepard is going to be marked 2 yards short. Well, if you're just joining us, here's how this game got going. Watch George Iloka, the safety for Boise, a tremendous interception on the sideline.
Yeah, Virgil Green could not hang on to this ball, had a lot of heat on it, and the rebound goes to Iloka.
Boise would then take the ball, drive down, and Kyle Bronzman would nail a 33-yard field goal. Nevada had scored on the opening drive in 10 of 11 games this season. Third and a long one. Tawa nowhere to go. Taken down for a loss as Billy Wynn and Aaron Tivis combined to bring him down.
Well, the difference in this Boise State team to me is up front. That defensive line. Baker 97 inside. Winterswipe. Wynn. Those guys have been dominant all season, and they've destroyed teams that have tried to run the ball inside on them.
So Brad Langley comes on to punt for Nevada. They've had such a good offense this year. He's been very limited with his punting duties. Chris Potter back deep for the Broncos. And it takes a Nevada bounce inside the 15-yard line. For those of you who have been watching the beginning of this game on ESPN Classic, we invite you now to join us on ESPN as we take a break. Broncos up 3-zip early. See a sprinkling of orange and blue as many have made the 5.5-hour drive down from Boise, Idaho, here to Reno.
They're the sisters of the poor, huh?
Making reference to a quote from the Ohio State president earlier this week. Well, they tend to do their talking on the field to these Broncos. Play action now. Kellen Moore. And he's able to get it complete to Austin Pettis out to the 21.
You know, that's the one thing about Kellen Moore when you turn on the tape and watch him, the way he handles the football. Play action, deep ball, the way he just moves in the pocket and does everything in such a calm, cool manner that the secondary has a hard time picking up keys and clues about what's going on because he doesn't really give anything away.
Pettis, first down, calm, cool, and collected, and a pitch and catch. More to Pettis for a first down.
You know, Tess, I saw a lot of players stop because I think they heard a whistle. But I think it came from the crowd. There were so many players not moving, and they just watched that play. They moved the pocket, and Pettis was pretty much wide open. I think the whistle had an impact.
Martin tries to spin free, able to get to the 44-yard line. You know, we did that Boise game at Idaho a couple weeks ago, and that actually became a concern.
Yeah. And
the WAC referee had to say something to the Idaho crowd.
Yeah, I think they'll pay a little closer attention to that now. You know, if you haven't seen a lot of Boise State, you think about trickeration and a lot of passing. You don't realize that they're a very physical team that loves to run the football.
Martin getting a lot of work early on here, close to that line to make the 40-yard line.
This is a Nevada defense that statistically has been good against the run, but Fresno State gashed them for 250 plus. California gashed them for 250 plus. So Boise State certainly feels that they can run against this defense.
So first down as the clock counts down here in the first quarter. Kellen Moore. Here's Dan Paul out of the backfield now, the big fullback. Ball came loose at the end there. You see the linesman ruling him down as Nevada's player battling for it. Isaiah Free undercut Dan Paul. You see Brandon Marshall try to jump on that ball there. Watch the end of this play, Rod.
Yeah. That's a good tackle here. Does that ball come out? That ball is out, but recovered by Paul. That ball is loose, and that is a good recovery, too.
Ball came loose, and you saw that Brandon Marshall is halfway out of bounds, jumping on it as they rolled it down. That is the end of the first quarter, a field goal lead for number 4. Joe and Rod back here in Reno, the biggest little city in the world. They turned that famed arch blue this week to support their Wolfpack. Number 4 in town. Boise up 3-6. First down. Doug Martin trying to find some running room. Not much happening against that Wolfpack front 4. James Michael Johnson filling that hole.
Well, Tess, Boise State usually starts fast, but it's been limited tonight. 3-0. Broadsman had a 33-yard field goal. George Iloka got a pick, stopped a Kapernick drive. Kapernick was 2 of 3 throwing the football. He has not tried to run the ball much yet.
Ball now in motion, the fullback. Martin again getting a lot of work early on here is Doug Martin. And Ryan Colson and Kevin Grimes corral them.
This is the area of the field where Moore tends to look to Austin Pettis. Pettis has great size at 6'3", great body control, can make acrobatic catches, can lean on smaller defensive backs, and Moore tends to look for him down here.
He's their all-time reception leader. 3rd and 9. Pressure comes. First down. Jeremy Avery out of the backfield.
Shades of last year. Last year, Nevada blew assignments on 4 occasions with running backs, fullbacks coming out of the backfield and left them wide open. And it happened again.
Doug Martin in pass protection picked up Marlon Johnson and gave Moore just enough time to get that to Avery. 16 yards on 3rd and 9. Martin fights his way inside the 5.
You know, Tess, that issue of not covering backs out of the backfield is really a linebacker issue, safety linebacker issue. They lose the guy who's in the backfield. You count receivers from the outside in, and usually linebackers and safeties pick up the 2nd or 3rd guy inside, and if they lose him, he's wide open.
Jeremy Avery is often that guy who gets lost, isn't he?
Yes.
He has a knack for that. 2nd and goal. Here's Martin. Gets free and into the end zone. 3 would-be tacklers. Doug Martin kept his balance, and Boise scores their first touchdown of the night.
And we talk about yards after contact with him. Watch the yards after contact. 1 missed tackle, a 2nd, a 3rd. All the yards came after he'd been hit.
And Kyle Brotzman, now 227 career PATs. The WAC's all-time leading scorer. 13-play drive. Martin a 4-yard touchdown run. 10-zip Boise. 10-zip Boise coming off Martin's touchdown. Joe and Rod in the booth. David Diaz and Fonte are field-level analysts. Well, Boise has become one of the real hot topics in college football. Frank Beamer, hey, the reality is they're just like playing Bama, like playing Southern Cal. They've got a quality football team.
You hear it throughout the WAC. How about Dick Tomey? I think they're the best team in the country. Everyone is so reluctant to give them the credit.
Greg McMacken out of Hawaii. The best team we've played defensively. Nobody has shut us down like that. Rob Akey at Idaho, the best Boise team I've ever seen. Of course, Pat Hill at Fresno State, who's played everybody. We've never been manhandled like that. I'll take Boise against anyone in the country. Let's check in on field level with Dave.
Hey guys, I had a conversation with Pat Hill earlier this week. He talked about they have played USC when they ranked #1, scored 42 points on them. Oklahoma when they were #1, scored 35 points on them. And after they played Boise State, he said they are absolutely the best team Fresno State has ever played.
Here's Mike Ball on the return for the Wolfpack. And Ball unable to make it back to the 20, taken down by Travis Stanaway. Currently 31 degrees. They're backed up to a 1st and 15. Kapernick now being pressured and being taken down by Winston Venable.
Well, he just underestimated Venable. He thought he could get outside of Winston Venable pretty easily and kind of took it easy. And watch how Venable 17 closes this after he gets rid of his blocker. He's got the angle on him, but Kapernick doesn't really think it's much of an issue and doesn't really turn it on.
Winston's dad, Max, a great baseball player in the majors. His brother, Will, a San Diego Padres outfielder. And he is a bullet. Speedy, fast, hybrid linebacker, nickelback will come after you. 2nd and 25 now. He goes down at the 20 this time. They are in reverse. Ricky Chongachu that time.
Well, they get pressure every way. They bring a little. Chongachu's going to come around. Kapernick gets caught up inside. They stunt their line. There's the twist. Here comes 43. Chongachu inside. stepping up to make the sack. That defensive front, that front four, really, really good.
-5 on the penalty, -10 on the sack, another 6-yard loss on the sack. How about 3rd and 31? And Kapernick looking for Shepard that time, but it goes incomplete. Shepard, you see that foot coming down, hitting the white.
Yeah, he came up with it, just too late, out of bounds. And this, again, Tess, this is the danger zone. The defense has pushed you back. The offense will get the ball.
Billy Wynn almost blocked Brad Langley's last punt. Chris Potter to return. Here's Potter at the 23. Potter out to midfield before he is wrestled down. Good return by Potter. 28-yard return, 10-zip Boise. Boise State Broncos, only team in the country ranked in the top 5 in both total offense and total defense.
You know what I'm thinking here, right?
Well, prime field position, little trick play.
Yep, or deep ball.
Seen it many times out of them. Gets the pitch. And Avery was wrapped up that time. Brett Roy and James Michael Johnson.
And Nevada has done a good job defensively of keeping Titus Young in front of them. One of their concerns coming in was making sure that Young didn't get behind them, and they didn't give up a big play early on. And they have sacrificed short throws and a little bit of run defense to make sure they don't give up that big play.
They go with Avery behind center for a direct snap again. This time he gives to Martin. And Doug Martin has a first down for the Broncos. Hard hit by Ryan Colson.
You know, when you go to that Wildcat formation, you sort of balance up the defense because now your quarterback is a player. He is a blocker or a runner, so you actually have one extra blocker. In a traditional offense, your quarterback is always out of the play, so you're playing 9 on 11, and now you get yourself back in there, one more guy.
How about that hit by Colson?
Colson's a real player, man.
And now Moore back under center. First down for the Broncos. Going for Titus Young. Touchdown, Boise.
Oh, they caught him in man coverage. We had just talked about the fact that Nevada was playing deep. They were not playing man coverage. They didn't want that. But Fry this time gets hooked up with Young in single coverage, and Moore will always find it. He found the weakness, and he went to it right away.
29th touchdown pass of the year for Kellen Moore to one of his favorite targets. And Grotzman puts it through. Just like they always do. Fast start, 17-zip, 26-yard touchdown by Young. 6 plays, going 48 yards. Young with the touchdown catch. So Boise State has scored now on all 3 possessions. Field goal after the interception, and then the Doug Martin touchdown, and then that beauty by Kellen Moore to Titus Young.
Remember we talked about the start, how they confuse you, they test you, they script, they find out what you're doing. After they've done that on that opening drive, they come back and they go field goal, touchdown, touchdown. They figure it out, they roll you, and now you're on your heels.
And here's Mike Ball. And Ball out to the 29. Let's check in with David Diaz and Fonte.
Hey guys, offensive line coach James Spady talking to that group up front, led by John Bender, is telling them they have got to pick up the line stunts. Boise State's trying to tee off on them. More importantly, they got to get back to doing what they are, and that's running the football. Got to try and dominate the line of scrimmage.
David, you're absolutely right. The one thing I've noticed they haven't done, they have not gotten Kapernick to the outside. And they've thrown it, but he's a missing part of that offense. When he's not running to the outside, you lose a lot of what they do offensively.
Kapernick to pass. Going downfield, looking for Matthews, and he comes up with it. Rashard Matthews. Boy, they needed a big play, and Kapernick delivered it.
Yes, he did, and Matthews delivered it. Matthews did a nice job on Thompson of actually kind of separating. This ball is a little underthrown. He gets single coverage, and Matthews works Thompson a little bit, just a little shove to get a little distance, and comes up with that ball. And they need this. They need to get back in the game now.
Towel with just a gain of 2 that time. 47-yard reception, the longest pass allowed by Boise's defense this season.
Well, they figured out right now in Nevada that they can work the man coverage to the outside. They're not trying to throw the ball down the middle. There's a safety hanging around the middle. They're playing man coverage outside, inside technique, outside guy available, so they're throwing to the outside.
Kapernick. And here goes Matthews. Touchdown, Nevada. Brandon Thompson missed on the play. Rashard Matthews brought it in. Take a look here at the sideline, Rod. Does he step out?
Oh, he was Cadillacing and not paying attention.
He was looking
casual. Oh, my goodness. He had no reason to let that happen. There was nobody threatening him. He took it easy, a little style, a little flash, and that touchdown will come back.
So first and goal now. Tower muscles his way in.
Left side, look at the double team on that left side. Great blocking over there. Great job done up front on that left side by Matt Slater. 72 over there.
Anthony Martinez tacks on the extra point. And Nevada gets back in this game. Tower. The touchdown run to cap that drive.
That was a huge answer for Nevada's offense.
17-7, number 4 against number 19 with BCS Bowl implications. Titus Young looking for room. Young cuts back, and a flag comes in at the end of that return. Martin cuts back. And a good choice as he goes for 9 yards there, finding that hole. So much on the line tonight. Of course, it was such an interesting day with all the emotion going on. The comeback by Auburn, many around our hotel packed with Boise fans and the team. They were sitting there with their jaws dropped on that Auburn comeback, thinking maybe they could be playing for a national title spot tonight. And then Arizona hanging early with Oregon before the Ducks go out there and cruise to an impressive victory. And now Moore finds a wide open Austin Pettis. Pettis out to midfield. Ball comes loose at the end.
I think he got it back.
A scramble for it. I believe he did.
I think he got it back. Good ball handling by Moore as he fakes things and allows Pettis to come back across the middle. And a good hit again by Colson.
How about these defensive ends getting downfield against wide receivers?
And a nice scramble by Pettis to get back on that football, as Colson really delivered a blow.
Colson and Moak, 20-25 yards downfield at the end of some of these plays. Martin now to the near side. Blockers in front. Doug Martin. Here he goes. Watch out. Doug Martin. Score it. 50. 51-yard touchdown run.
Well, they did something we thought they wouldn't do. They brought a blitz. They caught him inside with the blitz. They had no safety there. Kyle Efall with a great block on the edge, and that was all she wrote. But you see the blitz coming up the middle, inside, and they catch him. They get Martin to the outside. Perfect call at the perfect time, catching Grimes coming in inside with the blitz, and Johnson, number 8. They get around them.
24-7 for the 4th-ranked team in the country. Martin with that 51-yard touchdown run to cap the scoring in Boise's first half. 137 yards for their featured back. Let's go down to the field with David.
All right, Coach Chris Peterson, you guys have been able to perform so well in the first half. Kellen Moore, Doug Martin have been able to control things offensively. What's been the key to success? Some big third down conversions.
Yeah, I think that, the third down, being able to run the ball a little bit. We're going to have to hit some big plays, there's no question, because they're very, very explosive on offense.
Defensively, you guys have been able to slow down that pistol attack. What's been the key to that?
Well, I think everybody's holding their gaps, playing their assignments. They hurt us a little bit in the passing game, but it's going to be like that when you're playing a really good team.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, back up to you guys.
All right, thanks, Dave. Now let's join Steve Unen back in the studio for the college football halftime report. Gentlemen. Glad you're with us. Joe Tessitore and Rod Gilmore up here in the booth. David Diaz and Fonte, our field level analyst, and we have a 24-7 lead by number 4 in the country. Rod, I always laugh when people still frame Boise as being a finesse passing team, and then you see Doug Martin go out and do what he did in that first half. Our game track is brought to you by Fidelity Investments, and you get a heavy dose of Doug Martin.
Old school football. And it means physical. Run it at you. Run it down your throat. Doug Martin, a lot of yards after contact. Vitala responded with a 5-yard touchdown of his own. Kellen Moore, we see it every week. He finds his man Titus Young in the end zone, beating man coverage for one of their big plays, their touchdowns that they got in the first half. Again, Nevada struggling to run the football. I think that's been a big issue for them. They have not gotten big plays on the ground, particularly from Kapernick.
Doug Martin, 137 rushing yards and a couple of scores in that first half. Of course, that Boise defense has been stellar all year long as well. So Boise set to receive here to start off this second half. And here is Titus Young. Oh, and Young takes a big hit down there at the 22-yard line. That was Albert Rossetti. Let's check in with David.
Hey, guys, had a chance to talk with Coach All coming out after halftime. He talked about they have to find a way to shut down the running game of Boise State. Doug Martin, 137 yards in the first half. Missed tackles, and they got to play with better leverage. Also, they got to find a way to convert on short yardage situations to keep their drives alive.
Thanks, Dave. You know, Nevada has gone down this road before with Boise of trailing early, rallying back. But they have to stop this Boise offense to have a chance. Martin gives a little and adds on to his total to the night as he's out to the 44-yard line. Colson finally wrapped him up. Martin with 144 yards.
Well, I want to know how many after contact on that run. That was another 3 yards after contact. Talking about a guy who goes at about 5'9" and 212 pounds.
You got the power back in Martin, and now you see the speed back with Avery. Here's Burrows. Takes advantage of the block, and he's out past midfield. And how quick was Kellen Moore to just get rid of that ball?
He saw it out of the corner of his eye. He saw the defender on the right side tip that he was coming, and Moore knew right away. Look at the right side. And now he looks over, and he sees his man Burrows right there, and he says, well, I'll just throw it to Mitch Burrows. That's where the blitz is coming from. They can't cover him.
There is just a football intelligence with Kellen Moore.
You're talking about a guy who bought the Boise State playbooks when he was in high school.
Oh, there's some great stories about
how obsessed he was with formations and play calling in high school. And here to the near side now is Avery. James Michael Johnson ran him down. Of course, this game of such importance. You look at those BCS standings, and Rod, obviously playing number 19 tonight. Boise expected, with a win tonight, to launch past TCU. Oregon and Auburn took care of business today.
Well, Boise State has been stalking TCU the last 3 weeks or so, cutting their lead in half every week. It's clear if they win tonight, they will move beyond TCU when the standings come out on Sunday.
2nd and 8. Moore over the middle, and that should have been caught. Mitch Burrows hit him in the chest. Made a good effort to get to it, but then didn't secure it. Dante Moak had the pressure on Moore.
And Tess, the importance of being in that 3rd spot in the BCS for a non-AQ means that you are first in line to go to the Rose Bowl if Oregon winds up in the national championship game.
That's right. The Rose is obligated to take the top qualifier from the BCS non-AQ when it loses one of its anchor teams to the title game. Could be the case with Oregon. 3rd and 8 now. Moore launching it for Titus Young. Right through his hands. Moore took a shot. Doyle Miller had the coverage. Young couldn't connect with it.
Well, Miller did a nice job of really kind of just pushing and stressing Young down the field. He stays with him, little contact there, gets his hand in there, nothing worth flagging him about, and Young couldn't come up with it.
And here on 4th down, and that is Boise's first punt of the night. 12:09 to go in the 3rd. First time they have punted tonight. Colin Kapernick, does he have the answers? We'll find out when we return. Nevada star quarterback Colin Kapernick needs to be at his very best now to mount a comeback. By Tawa. Corralled by Chase Baker. Baker, number 97 in that front 4. Coach Pete says he deserves a lot more attention. See the numbers on Kaepernick. -9 rushing yards, Rob.
Well, and a special senior. What a compelling personal story he has. A young man who's biracial, was adopted, born to a 19-year-old struggling birth mother who gave him up for adoption.
Now out of the pistol here on 2nd and 7. Able to complete it this time. Matthews, and he fights for the first down.
His birth mother put him up for adoption and listed 3 criteria for the adoptive parents: siblings, financial stability, and love of sports. She didn't care about race or religion, and these are his parents who adopted him 5 weeks after he was born. Teresa and Rick. Rick is in the hat to the left. And there's his mom,
They
Teresa.
were so proud of the senior night tonight. So the end result is a first down for Nevada out at the 42. Now Kaepernick. And he is wrapped up by Jerron Johnson.
Well, we talked about it at the beginning of the night. The impact players being those safeties on the outside for Boise State. Jerron Johnson and Iloka. And George Iloka and those two have just been great at keeping Kaepernick inside, really kind of taking away even Nevada's desire to try to get Kaepernick to the outside.
Play clock running down. Able to get it off. Tawa spinning out past midfield, short of a first down, but what a difference it makes when you play the Boise defense, because this Nevada offense has been on fire all year long. And then look at the numbers tonight.
I think people haven't caught up to it. I mean, I think they think Boise State at 3 years ago, whatever, outscore you. This defense, particularly that defensive line this year, they're showing you this is a dramatically better defense. They just shut people down. 44 points a game for Nevada, 7 tonight.
They've held 5 of their 10 opponents to 1 touchdown or less. Tawa with a first down run.
And Tess, the difference in that defense is really Winter Swike playing great as he did last year. Billy Wynn even better than last season. And Shea McClellan, who's really come on. But Chase Baker is the unsung hero up front. I mean, he's just an anchor inside, number 97 there, that doesn't get a lot of attention, but he stuffs a lot of things inside so that his teammates can make plays.
Kapernick on first down. As incomplete, it was off the hands of Matthews. And now out of the backfield is Ball. And Mike Ball maintaining his balance to the 35-yard line.
Really nice touch by Kapernick. He put that ball in a spot where Ball did not have to break stride, didn't have to turn around, just able to keep heading up the field. Perfectly thrown.
So Colin Kapernick has the Wolfpack marching here, 35-yard line, facing a 3rd down and 1. Tawa stacked up. Billy Wynn collapsed him.
Yeah.
Chase Baker underneath him.
Yeah, Wynn 6'4", 288. And it starts right here, right there, and right there. Watch all the penetration they get. 90 and 97. Wynn is 90. 97 Baker. They just stuffed everything right up front.
And now going for it here on 4th and 2. Kapernick incomplete. Flag comes in. Jamar Taylor was covering Wimberly.
Pass interference. Number 21 defense. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic. First down.
Well, they tried to move the pocket. They wanted to get Kapernick to the edge. And look at the protection he gets. How about Vitale with that block? That allows Kapernick to get to the edge. And there was pass interference down there. You see Taylor not look back until late. Had his hands on the receiver out there, Wimberly. And when you're engaged like that and the ball's in the air, they're going to get you flagged.
Vitale, a military pressed Winston Venable.
Good call.
And Cap just throws this away as Shepard, the wide receiver, was covered well by George Iloka, so no opportunity for Kapernick to go that direction.
You know, Kaepernick has to be frustrated. We have not seen him, the long strider, the guy that we've seen all season breaking these 20-plus yard runs time and time again. You know, this is what he's done against Boise State. They've gotten better against him every year. 2007, he just blew him up, and they've ratcheted it down with their safeties each year after that.
Pressure off the edge. Can he escape it? He does. Gonna run for it. First down inside the 10. Kapernick, touchdown, Nevada.
Is he in bounds? Left in, right in. Ball on the pylon. He's in there.
6'6", fast as could be, and he goes airborne to the pylon to cut into this lead. We got ourselves a ball game. Nevada with Colin Kaepernick celebrating the 18-yard touchdown. Colin Kaepernick has his Wolfpack now within 10 of the number 4 team in the country. Of course, he's closing in on major records. 56 rushing touchdowns, the most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in college football history. 59 by Heisman winner Eric Crouch. He's one away from tying Tim Tebow for second place. As a dual threader, 96 rushing yards now away from joining Brian Smith as the only two players to ever have had 8,000 passing, 4,000 rushing in a career. And as for this year, well, he's close to becoming the third ever to pass for 3,000 yards and run for 1,000 yards in a single season. Dan Lefevre, Vince Young, the first to do that. He is something special. It has been a phenomenal career for Colin Kapernick.
Well, keep in mind, he's got a couple of games left next week and a bowl game as well.
And on the kick by Ricky Drake after the penalty just sailed into the crowd. Let's check in with Dave.
Well, Coach Hall talked about it when he came out after halftime. The defense had to find a way to get a stop on Boise State, force them to punt twice in the third quarter. And it was Colin Kaepernick able to take advantage of things, put together a drive, and put 6 up on the board for him.
Thanks, Dave. David Diaz-Infante, our field level analyst tonight. Boise State, by the way, saw that penalty after the PAT. 4 15-yard penalties this quarter. Had the pass interference against them on that last drive as well. Jeremy Avery now on the pitch. Oh, and he is just absolutely smothered by James Michael Johnson.
James Michael Johnson ran that alley perfectly, sifted right through, found the lane. There he is in the middle of the screen, 52, scraping to his right, finds the hole, does not get blocked by Efa, the tight end, number 80, who tried to pick him up, but he just ran past the block.
And we'll stick with Avery in the backfield with Moore here on 2nd and 12. Moore. And that is incomplete as Pettis had to go down low. Pressure once again came from Dante Moak.
Well, you know what they're doing. They're moving Dante Moak around. I mean, Dante Moak is a defensive end, but look, they stand him up and put him here, and they're going to let him come inside. So they're disguising him and moving him around. They miss him. He splits the double team and gets another shot on Moore.
The reigning WAC Defensive Player of the Year. Nation's active leader in tackles for loss. 3rd and 12. Going downfield. Young can't come up with it. Brown had the coverage on Young. He tried to take a step back to that ball.
Test the pressure is starting to get to Moore. They're getting hits on him almost every time. They can't handle Moak on the edge. They're moving Moak around, and he's getting to Moore almost every single time. And then you've got pretty good coverage down the field by Thaddeus Brown hanging with Young.
Dante Moak, back in high school in Arizona, he was the state champ in the 100 and 200 meters.
It looks like it.
He's a track star playing defensive end out there. Now Brossman kicking to Matthews. And Matthews calls for the fair catch. Boise, 3 third-quarter possessions, 3 punts. Came in needing 84. Vitala trying to add to that total and close in on being the best running duo ever in college football. Cap and Tawa.
This pistol offense has been a boon for Kaepernick. You know, that shotgun is at 7 yards, the pistol is at 4 yards, and that man wanted to use that in order to develop a running attack, and he's done it with a couple of outstanding runners in his backfield.
Momentum with Nevada. The defense stepped up. Kaepernick stepped to the pylon, and we got a 10-point game. A local columnist called this the biggest sporting event in Reno since heavyweight champ Jack Johnson fought here back in 1910. Start of the 4th, and they only trail Boise now by 10. Kaepernick to Ball. And Mike Ball loses his footing out of bounds. Lost the ball as he was going out of bounds. Out at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, this is the first time since, maybe early September that Boise State has been challenged in the second half. Most of their games have been over by midway through the third quarter.
Well, they haven't trailed an opponent since the fourth quarter of that opening game against Virginia Tech. They have been nothing but blowouts, but this Nevada team ranked 19th with a high-powered offense. Pressure as they set up the screen by Tawa, and Tawa has the first down, and he works his way out to the 48-yard line.
You know, Tess, when you've been beaten by a team for a couple of years, but you keep getting closer, that confidence starts to grow. You are no longer intimidated by who they are, their helmets, or anything. You start to believe that you missed a play or two the year before. If you make the play or two this time, you get the win.
A lot of reason for Nevada to be confident about themselves. By Tawa, and Tawa out to the 44, cross midfield. McClellan and Johnson finally got to him.
There you see the eyes of Colin Kapernick reading the action of the defensive end, the defensive line, as to whether to give that football or keep it. And most of the night he's had to keep it because Boise State wants him to give it. I mean, to give it. They don't want him to keep it and go outside.
Matthews. And Rashard Matthews spinning free. Here he goes. Touchdown run by Rashard Matthews. Nevada is within 3. The comeback in full stride. 24-21 at Mackey Stadium here in Reno. First time two ranked teams have met here. And their Wolfpack trailed number 4 Boise 17-zip and 24-7 at the half, but they have charged back. Rashard Matthews coming around for a 44-yard touchdown run. He has 200 yards from scrimmage. Tack on 156 receiving to that 44-yard spectacular spinning run. Boise is only up 3. Titus Young from the 4. There goes Titus Young now looking for a block. Titus Young cuts back. He has blockers in front. And he's out close to midfield, out to the 48, taken down by Albert Rossetti. Kellen Moore now. There's Titus Young. And Titus Young with a gain of 9 there as Doyle Miller was on top of him.
You have to go back to the Virginia Tech game to have a fourth quarter in doubt for Boise State. It's been a long time since they've played a game where everything was on the line late in a game.
586 minutes of being with the lead, but being challenged here, being tested late by number 19 Nevada. Moore. Incomplete. He threw a strike to Austin Pettis, but it falls incomplete.
This Nevada defense has become more aggressive, taking more chances, and it all started when Dante Moak started getting pressure on Moore. More aggressive play in the secondary now. Watch how close and tight the coverage is now. You didn't get this in the first half.
There is Moak. All that speed he brings after Kellen Moore. 3rd and 1. Martin on the pitch. Does not even come close. James Michael Johnson and the rest of that Nevada defense doing their job well.
Watch the linebackers straight. They stay clean. Nobody gets to them. No lineman is able to get to them. They're free. They can come make the play. That is good football. You keep your linebackers clean.
Boise's going for it. 4th and 2, or will he pooch punt? He does just that, Kellen Moore. And it takes a favorable bounce for the Broncos. Vitawa now. Here goes Vitawa. Big gainer for the Wolfpack. Out to the 32-yard line.
So we talked about keeping linebackers clean. This time the linebackers are not clean for Boise State. They get tied up by Virgil Green, 85, that tight end we talked about who makes great blocks, got in there and disrupted everything.
Virgil Green took out 2 defenders.
Man.
Here he goes now, Kapernick. Slides down to the 49-yard line. That clock continues to count down. A competitive 4th quarter for Boise, Rod. They are not conditioned to this.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time. And like I said, when you're trying to focus for 40 plays, that's a lot different than 65 or 70 plays. Game's usually over by mid-3rd quarter. Not tonight.
Kellen Moore's been pulled in 3rd quarters. Been wearing that baseball cap a lot. Kapernick to the outside. Colin Kapernick gets free for a 1st down, and Nevada is marching. Good block that time by Mike Ball.
Here's the guy. That's the guy that they want to use as the lead blocker. That's Virgil Green. He gets out there and seals off the inside and let Kapernick get outside. That is what they use him for, to spring Kapernick.
Gets it to Mike Ball. And Ball is forced out by Winston Venable.
Well, they don't particularly like to throw the ball down here. They like to go with more option with 2 backs and get to their triple option down here. And it looks like that's the formation they're going to use. They're going to go with 2 tight ends and 2 backs. And that usually means more option, more outside option down here for Nevada.
2nd and goal. That was stacked up.
Yeah, see, now they've got some difficulty because they don't have enough room to run their passing attack that they like. And Colin Kaepernick has a strong arm, but he's not a touch passer in this red zone area. So I don't expect him to throw the ball unless they throw a fade. I'm thinking more option again, and maybe with the pitch involved this time.
We'll see if that's the direction they go here. It'll be 3rd and goal. Looking to take the lead against the 4th-ranked team in the country. Kapernick off the fingertips. He was trying to get it to Mike Ball coming out of the backfield.
Yeah, they came with the option look and the option pitch look, but then just wound up throwing it instead of the pitch aspect of it. And they had it out there, and their Kaepernicks are watching, and they knew. Teresa and Rick knew that they had a shot there.
So on comes Anthony Martinez. Remember, the wrap on him, he kicks a low blow. Ball had one blocked earlier. This from 23. They have come all the way back. Martinez ties it. Reno is rocking. Joe Tessitore, Rod Gilmore, and David Diaz-Infante with you. Number 4 and number 19 tied up 24-24. Boise's 24-game win streak on the line, as are BCS Bowl implications. The Rose Bowl trying to keep alive title hopes. It all comes down to this.
They're chasing Oregon and Auburn, and TCU is looking to stay in the hunt.
Titus Young from the goal line. And Young is pushed back at the 20 later tonight, but Kellen Moore will have something to say about it. Set it up to Martin. Doug Martin. Look at Doug Martin go. Puts on a move, and Martin still on his feet. Doug Martin, could he? Yes! Was that a Rose Bowl run? What a play by Doug Martin, 79 yards.
It was a screen pass in response to all the pressure, and look how many guys he makes miss tackles. 3 guys had shots, and instead of running over them, he juked around them.
Kellen Moore. He can smile now. Boise by a touchdown.
But back to the screen pass that just put Boise State on the board. That's Martin out there. That's where it comes from. Watch all the pressure that comes up and how his blockers get out in front. Now he's got some help there and some help there, and you're going to see poor angles from the secondary. The safeties have a chance to make the play here. They do not. They have bad angles. They stop their feet. Martin jukes them, and then it's a 79-yard run to the end zone.
Spectacular play by Doug Martin. He has 233 yards from scrimmage, 3 touchdowns on the night, and that after Nevada had roared back to tie this game. The lead Wooten. And Wooten is upended by Jerron Johnson. No picks. And now Colin Kapernick's turn at pistol offense. Kapernick, look at the time he has here on 3rd and 6. And he gets it complete for the first down as Virgil Green secured the ball.
We've seen Virgil Green do some great blocking, and now he's coming up with catches. Plenty of time for Kapernick. I thought he would take off, but he is thinking about the easier play now and getting his guys involved.
And now Vitala shakes loose, and Tala with a 9-yard run.
I really think it's been such a long time for this defense to have to play inspired fourth-quarter football. They may be a little gassed.
And this is the time in most games when the reserves are in, when Boise's usually up by multiple touchdowns and coasting for another win, but the 19th ranked team here at home on senior night. 2nd and 10. Here's Ball setting up the screen. Mike Ball. Ball is free, and Mike Ball has it down to the 30-yard line. A 22-yard screen to the reserve running back.
He's explosive. He is the guy they look to for speed out of the backfield, and they had that set up perfectly to the right side. He slipped out, got one good block, and just full steam ahead.
Kaepernick patiently taking his time to set things up. Fresh set of downs. Vitala, blockers in front. Cuts back. Just a gain of about 2.5. Chase Baker and J.C. Percy trying to find Vitala. Matthews to that corner. And right on that pylon of that first down line. And a first down for Nevada inside the 20.
Well, he's working against Thompson, who was laying way off, way too far in that part of the field to be laying that far off. Easy outtake there.
Just over a minute ago, a minute 16. Nevada looking for that touchdown to tie up this game. Vitala straight up the middle. They have a great sense of themselves, don't they, Rod? They know what they're all about.
Yes, they do. And the game plan is straightforward. Vitala inside, take the out route when they give it to you with the man coverage, and then try and find a way to get Kapernick or someone else to the edge when you can.
Now Courtney Randall comes in as a featured back. Randall gets the call. Courtney Randall, another first down. Clock stops with 42 seconds to play.
That's good for another Wolfpack.
It'll be first and goal. Chris Peterson. All that talk of the BCS. Title game hopes. Rose Bowl berth. Could Nevada tie this game? Put the pressure on Boise. Send it to overtime.
That clock is running.
First and goal. Kapernick to pass. Matthews unable to connect. The coverage came from Brandon Thompson. That leaves 17 seconds.
Well, and you know that as a defensive back now, you know they have to throw, and you want your eyes on the quarterback. And you see Thompson get his eyes back around there quickly. Now everyone on that defense understands it's about throwing the football. Nevada cannot take the risk that if they run, they don't get into the end zone and they don't get another playoff.
No timeouts, 17 seconds. Play clock under 10. Matthews to the near side, split wide for Kapernick. Play clock at 2. Touchdown, Nevada! Rashard Matthews does it again! It's all tied up.
Tess, it's been Matthews, and it's been that out route. That ball comes out quickly. Thompson far off in coverage. Way too much room. Kaepernick's parents, Rick and Teresa, watching. They get it. They're enthused. Chris Peterson is not.
A year ago, Titus Young returned one against Nevada. He'll be kicking off here with 13 seconds to go. And they'll keep it on the ground. Young will have his chance. And he's forced out at about the 37-yard line with 9 seconds to play.
Well, you would assume that Kellen Moore will take a shot at trying to pick up some pretty good yards with one play. They have a timeout, so they can actually use the field and see if they get something out of it.
Now, Kyle Brotzman has a career long of 52 yards. Moore steps up, airs it out, looking for Titus Young. Did he catch it? Diving catch with 1 second to go. his own miracle. Titus Young answers the prayer.
We talked about his arm strength. He's a better thrower than last year. He gives Young a chance. And Young just shows flat-out speed and comes up with it. It is a good catch. The ball did not hit the ground. How did they get it all done with a second left?
9 seconds on the snap. 1 second when he completes the diving catch. And a timeout called to try to set up the game-winning field goal. And now Kyle Brotzman, a former walk-on, a fourth-year starter who has had a record-breaking career, will come on to try to win this game.
Tess, in this situation, no one can get behind you. If you have to line up 30 yards deep, no one can get behind you. You just can't let anyone get behind you, even if you go stand back 30 yards.
And now it comes down to the right foot of Kyle Brotzman.
And Chris has to be sick. How can somebody with 9 seconds to go get behind your secondary?
Nation's active scoring leader. WAC Special Team Player of the Week, a senior. Now it's time for Brotzman to deliver. This from 26. No good. The drama continues in Reno. We are going to overtime. They are hugging each other in the stands. The Moore to Young miracle does not get the payoff. Brotzman misses.
That's a straight up, lined up shot right down the middle. And he pushes it to the left.
They have the shorter posts here at Nevada, not the NFL length height of the posts. So that sails high over. Peterson was ready to raise the arm. They were celebrating on the Broncos sideline. But Chris Holt gets the confirmation.
What a reprieve for Nevada.
We will have overtime when we return. This stadium has come alive. And Boise goes to offense first. Moore, good-looking fake. And he's incomplete. All right, so let's set the table for overtime here, Rob.
Well, you know the rules. Coin toss, a choice of offense, defense. Everybody wants to be on defense first so that you know what the other team has done. You know what you have to do. You get one possession from the 25-yard line. You keep going back and forth. Game clock doesn't matter. You must go for two, starting with the third overtime.
Prior to that incompletion, Moore's last two passes was the 79-yard screen pass touchdown and that miraculous 53-yarder to Young. Now 2nd and 10. Looking to set up the screen, but being pursued. Had to wait for it. Now able to get it, but smashed down was Doug Martin by Kevin Grimes.
Well, it is the pressure from Nevada that is disrupting Boise State's passing attack. Moak and company are disrupting the rhythm and timing. Moore wanted to go to Pettis to the right side, but the pressure forced him to the left, and he couldn't come back to Pettis.
3rd and 9. Wide open was Avery for a first down for Boise.
Well, they mixed him up again. They caught them with the blitz coming inside, and instead of Avery staying inside to help, he snuck out to the right side.
16 yards on 3rd and 9. And it'll be a 1st and goal here. There's Peterson. Pressure-packed situations. His team has not seen much of this. Play action. Moore. Back of the end zone, but Titus Young could not get a grasp of it.
He surveyed the field. His first choice was Kyle Efau. He wanted him in the middle of the field, but had to come off of that. And Pettis wasn't open. And then he finally goes back to his 3rd option, Titus Young, in the back of the end zone. Pettis is his preferred guy down here.
Martin wrapped up in the backfield. Ryan Colson the first to get on top of him.
Well, you know, the interesting thing is they took Young out and they took Pettis out and signaled the running play.
They did. Potter was in at receiver.
You know, their favorite play down here is to use Pettis and to use him on a slant to get that big body inside and give him a chance.
Martin and Avery both in on 3rd and goal from the 12. Incomplete. Young got his hands up, and the ball bounced into the end zone. So now Kyle Brotzman has to return to the field to kick again.
Well, you see him come back again, trying to get it over to Young. No, he's throwing at the coverage. Pettis was the guy he wanted. Marlon Johnson, great job inside, but Pettis again was doubled to the right side.
This from 29. This is turning into a disaster for Brotzman. He misses from 26, what could have been the game winner in regulation, and now in the first overtime, he misses from 29, and Nevada will have a chance to pull the upset.
Tess, both of these kicks have been straight on, no angle. And he pushed the one in regulation, and he hooked this one.
Chris Hall. Will be the signature moment for this program. Vitawa to the 21. Kellen Moore's reaction with a missed kick. Could these BCS dreams come crash down here in Reno?
It only takes a field goal for Nevada.
Any score and they win.
A loss would drop Boise State out of contention for the national championship and out of the Rose Bowl race.
TCU would stand alone as the highest non-AQ. Kapernick. And that is incomplete. So it'll make for a 3rd and 6. So much on the line here. Remember, the day started with Alabama way out in front of Auburn, and people around the world of Boise State were thinking, could it be that we could be playing for a spot in the national title game? And then Oregon does their thing, the Auburn comeback, and they're thinking, okay, still alive with the hope, still alive for the Rose Bowl. And then the Nevada comeback after trailing 17-zip.
Kaepernick will have to be smart, not take chances. They are already in position to attempt a field goal.
Keep it on the ground with Tawa. He muscles ahead inside the 20. So it is now the time for the redshirt freshman, the 5'6" Anthony Martinez, who joined the program as a walk-on and now can give them their biggest win. This attempt from 34.
I expect a timeout from Chris Peterson.
Instead, it is Martinez with the win. Nevada has done it. Colin Kapernick on senior night saying, I have to beat Boise. He has. The biggest win in program history. Mighty Boise has gone down. Nevada can celebrate. Just the second loss in the college career of Kellen Moore. Number 4 upset tonight in Reno. Let's go down to the field to Dave Diaz-Infante. Dave?
Well, Coach, tell us the feeling that's going through your team right now and yourself after finally getting over the hump and defeating Boise State and clinching part of the WAC title.
David, it's just a thrill, you know. And right now, you really, you're just trying to enjoy everything. I'm looking at those kids out in that field. Couldn't be prouder of them and the coaching staff to come back like we. I mean, this is a great thrill.
Coach, you talked about your defense having to make some stops. They're the ones that really got momentum going for you guys in the second half. How proud of you of their effort?
Well, I'm really proud of our defense, and you're right. They got us back into it. Then the offense caught going. We warmed down a little bit. And that offense was really good, David, that second half.
Coach, what was going through your mind at the end of the game with all the things that transpired, the missed field goals, the big play at the end by Boise State, the gamut of emotions that went through your heart?
We're a team of destiny. It's going to happen now. When he missed that field goal, I said, this is it. We got it now, guys. Let's go.
Well, Coach, destiny was on your side tonight. Congratulations. One of the biggest wins in the history of your program.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
34-31 overtime win. Anthony Martinez sends it home. Coming up next will be Sports Center. Kellen Moore, the disappointment. For Ron Gilmore and Dave Diaz-Infante, I'm Joe Tessitore. Thanks for being with us here in Reno. Enjoy the rest of your night, including Sports Center right now.
If you ever